Thank you very much. This is Bruce Francis. I'm going to be doing 2 weekends that are going to be based upon the Spinal Neigong of Taoism and the spiraling energy body. One will focus mostly on standing postures, and the other one will be mostly about how internally all the things you do with your body connect up and coordinate with each other. So the standing postures will be utilizing work from the bend the bow, spinal neigong, and the coordination will have a little bit more to do with the spiraling energy body. In one sense, you could call this workshop part 2 of bend the bow. Bend the bow just gives the most basic way that the spine gets moved and what it does. This starts going much more into the full range of what the spine can do. If you look at the 16 Neigong, or the 16 internal components of all Taoist Qi work, the spine takes up one of those elements, as well as does the opening and closing of the joints, as well as does the opening and closing and lengthening of the soft tissues of the body. So somehow all 3 of these are going to get involved. The larger emphasis will be on opening and closing the joints, but you can't really talk about moving, mobilizing, transferring qi around the body without some degree of the way the yin and yang meridian flows cause all your soft tissues to operate. So we'll be going to each of these. And the primary emphasis is going to be on health and healing. So if you got a problem, hopefully this will help you get it fixed. And if you don't want to get problems, this will help you not get the problems. But also, I will show some of it in terms of power generation, creating power, the internal power of martial arts, for which it has a long and noble reputation and tradition. The distinction needs to be made. Qigong works on the larger flows of qi in the body, but not necessarily all of them or even most of them. Neigong, the word nei means inside, so it's how you work with all the energetics inside the human body. Now this becomes a big issue because we've all got 4,000 or 5,000 energy channels. Qigong never goes into most of that. Neigong does. So this obviously will be very valuable for anybody who has back problems or joint problems, because if you talk about your joints and you talk about your spine, these two are fused together in the way they coordinate with each other, that to really talk about one without the other is somewhat partial. And I haven't done this previously because there was just so much background material, but I'm quite sure that it'll be valuable to anybody who does it. The other thing that's important is that we'll be looking about what is important about how, if you do something with your spine, and you do something, let's say, with an internal organ, how do you make that movement, that physical external movement, fuse those two together, coordinate those two, so each one increases the power and the healing ability of the other one. So there will be a lot of things. The standing postures will be going through, I can't say every part of the body, but most of them anyway. And the Neigong, where the emphasis is going to be more in the spine, is also going to be how the spine affects every part of the body and the flows that creates and how they interconnect and coordinate with each other so that the whole is always more than the sum of its parts. Thank you very much.